Okay, so I went ahead and deleted all of the resources I made in the last demo. So in that last demo, I deployed all the infrastructure manually in AWS Management Console, which, if you could tell, took a while and is very error prone. If you repeat that kind of configuration over and over and over again, eventually you're bound to make a mistake, and it's hard to find and figure out what the issue is, and that can cause larger issues down the line. So what I'm going to do in this demo is show you how you can use infrastructure as code to automate all of your infrastructure deployment and configuration. And I'm going to show deploying the exact same application stack using infrastructure as code, specifically two tools, that being Terraform and Ansible. So I'm going to go to VS Code. Um, so I have my Git repo up, and I have a few sections. I have one for Ansible, one for Node.js, which was the application that gets deployed, and one for Terraform. So I'm going to start with Terraform. So I use Terraform to manage to deploy all of the AWS resources. So think things like the S3 bucket, the VPC, the EC2 instance, the RDS instance. They all get defined in this main.tf file, which is it's kind of like a coding language where you can just have variables and loops, input variables, output variables, loops, whatnot. Um, and you can keep it all in version control, so it's hard to forget what your configuration was compared to doing it all manually. So I am going to show Terraform workflow. So if I cd into Terraform, I do Terraform plan. Terraform plan is kind of like a dry run of your Terraform deployment, so it's just going to tell you what will happen if you were to run it. So it actually tells me the plan. It has 30 resources to add, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy. And if I scroll up, it'll tell me exactly all the resources that are defined in my Terraform code that is going to deploy. So if I want to actually deploy it, I run Terraform apply. It's going to tell me, it's going to give you the plan again. It's going to tell me what it's going to create, change, and destroy. And it's going to have me confirm, are you sure you want to perform these actions? Then enter yes. So I enter yes. And now it's going to start deploying all of my infrastructure for me. All right, so it looks like my Terraform deployment finished. That took 12 minutes to deploy all the AWS resources. So it tells me apply complete, resources 30 added, 0 changed, and 0 destroyed. It also gave me some outputs, which are very handy. I'm actually going to copy these and put these in a text file because I might use them later. So let me just make a new file, outputs.txt, and paste them in here. So that gave me a few outputs. Gave me my CloudFront CDN domain name, my connection string for my Oracle DB, which was handy. My EC2 instance's public IP address, just as IPv4 address, and also the name of my S3 bucket, which it generated randomly. So yeah, to show that some of the resources got deployed, let's check out AWS Management Console. So I go RDS, check out the DB instances. We need to refresh. Oh, I'm in the wrong region. Give me a sec. I go to US East 1. Oh yeah, so here's my database in RDS. You can see it's Oracle Standard Edition 2. I could go through the rest of the resources deployed in here, but that would just take a while. So just trust that they all got deployed and they're all deployed through Terraform. So yeah, so now I'm going to go on to deploying the application, the actual cat upload application via infrastructure as code. So I'm going to start with deploying the application to the EC2 instance. So I use the tool Ansible for that. Ansible is great for automating the configuration and patching and install the software on Linux servers. So that's what I'm going to use it for. So I have this file called playbook.yaml, and this kind of defines what steps are going to run on the server. So install git and firewall daemon, enable the firewall D service, expose the port, install Node.js, clone the git repository, copy over my .env file with my specific configuration, and actually start do the npm start and actually start the application running. So I am going to get this running. I have to set a few configuration things. So first I got to copy over this IP address and put it into my inventory file. And Ansible and inventory file is just the list of servers you can configure. You can actually configure many different servers at the same time in parallel with Ansible, but in this case I'm just doing one. Then if I go to my .env file, which is my Node.js application specific configuration, and needs the Oracle connection string, so I'm going to copy that from the outputs. It's right here, db connection string, and just put that in there. It also needs the name of my S3 bucket, so I'm going to copy that over here because it's right here. There we go. So now I can go and run my Ansible playbook. So if I go to my terminal, cd Ansible, Ansible-playbook -I inventory.ini playbook.yaml. And let's go. So here it goes. Now it's deploying the application to the server. Okay, so now the Ansible playbook finish running. So now the application is actually deployed to that server. So I'm going to test it out in Postman. So just do a little API call just to sniff test. So copy it. I'll do /API/cats get on it, and it gave me an empty array. So that looks good. Looks like it's responding with something correct. It gave me a 200 OK response. So now the last thing to do is just to deploy the static files of the application. So if I go into Node.js, there's all these static files that need to be deployed to the S3 bucket. So I'm going to do that right now. So if I go into the Node.js part of it, one thing I got to change is in the client JavaScript file, I have to set the domain for the API. So I'm going to set it to this IP, the public IP address for the server. So also to HTTP / IP address on port 3000. So then it knows to go to another origin. You do have to configure cores on the server to get this working, which I have done. So, yep, I set that. And then now I'm going to run an S3 command to push all these static files up to my S3 bucket. So it's AWS S3 sync static S3 : / now let me grab my S3 bucket's name. It's right here. And I want to exclude the cat's path because my application is going to be managing or uploading the cat's images for me. So there we go. So it uploaded my HTML and JavaScript files for me. And I think that's about it. So now I can just actually load the CloudFront domain name in my web browser and check out the application. So let me copy it, go into Google Chrome, new tab. I want to make sure this is HTTP and not HTTPS. There we go. And there we go. There's my application. So I'll insert in a name, Seth, age 24, cat image, cat.png, upload cat. And there we go. There's a cat uploaded. So it has the image, name, age, and also an upload timestamp. So let me try adding in another one. So I'll say Alex, 23, choose file, cat2.png. And there we go. So those It's persisting to the database as well as S3. So now that the application is working, I'm just going to go and destroy all the infrastructure so I can save on costs. So let me go back to VS Code. The first thing I got to do is I got to remove all of the objects from S3. So do AWS S3 RM S colon slash slash. Then let me copy back my S3 bucket name and dash dash recursive. And that'll destroy all the objects. And now I can do Terraform destroy, and it'll destroy all of my AWS resources. So we go cd // Terraform, Terraform destroy. There we go. So this is plan, 0 to add, 0 to change, 30 to destroy. And I will, do you really want to destroy everything? And I'll say yes. And there it goes. Now it's destroying everything. And there we go. So now all of the AWS resources are destroyed. So now I'm not paying for anything, which is great. So what I like to do when I do cloud projects is I'll spin it all up with Terraform. I'll work on it for a bit, and then I'll make sure to run Terraform destroy when I'm done working on it, so I don't spend too much money. So let me check out my AWS Management Console. So I go back to RDS. There's actually nothing now, so you can see it deleted everything. And that's about it for this demo.